Hey, welcome in to our Friday live stream. I'm a little late today. Thanks for hanging in there. Hey, Linda, welcome in. Um, I don't have barbecue sauce on my. That's okay. Anyways, um, okay, so we're going over part two of our LinkedIn questions to answer in your profile if you're a freelance writer. So basically, these are the questions that you need to have, you know, um, these are the questions that you need to have. And then also the questions like why and how we're answering these for our clients, like why we need to do this, why this is important. So, where we left off last time, I'm just going to do a quick review just so, hey Camille, welcome in. I'm just going to do a quick review of these questions just so we're all on the same page so we have them all together. So, our first one is what specific SEO keywords would my ideal clients use to find a writer? Like, what types of SEO words? Would it be freelance content marketing writer, or would it be freelance fintech writer? Like, what types of SEO words, or would it be freelance fintech white paper writer? What types of stuff would end up coming up for them? So the second one is what makes me unique as a writer. So what kind of skills or attributes or things about you as a writer make you unique? And then that kind of feeds into how do those specific skills, knowledge and experience, or maybe your niche expertise help your clients succeed? Like, how do your skills as well as your knowledge help your clients get results or meet the goals or reach the goals that, that they want to in their business and with all of their content projects? So, the next one, I know we didn't get super far. So, the next one I'm going to go over here is how have I helped my clients reach their goals? So, this is kind of like any testimonials or results or things that we can talk about with our clients that is explaining not just like what we did, but how we actually did it. So there's two sides to this. One side is testimonials, and one side is explaining through those testimonials, or like, hey, I increased traffic by 500%, or I got their top 3 articles on the front page of Google search results for those SEO keywords, or specific things that you can say, like you 2x their market, like you got their ROI was really good on the marketing, or whatever they spent with you, they got it back. Those are kinds of things that we can do, that we can explain in our LinkedIn profile through testimonials, or just typing it out, that talk about how we help them reach their goals. But there's another piece too where sometimes, especially with content marketing and doing all the different project types that we do, we don't necessarily have all those stats, right? Our clients don't always come back to us and say, like, hey, you did X, Y, and Z, or these are the results we saw from the content, or we don't always get like the back end information. Like, they're like, oh yeah, this really worked well, let's keep working together. And that's all you hear, right? Hey, we love working with you, this is working for us, like, do you want to keep, have another contract? You're like, yeah. So what you have to do here when you're talking about reaching your clients' goals is explain like what you did and what worked. So that means that you added content to their library, right? You're like, we added this many blog posts, and that helped them grow their lists of subscribers because they mentioned that they're getting more leads that way. Or you can talk about what you did and what types of goals the client had. So you can say, like, the client wanted to increase traffic to their website, get more sales, put more leads in the pipeline, and start building a list for their next webinar. And you're like, in order to do that, we created these types of content, we shared them on these platforms, and this is kind of what happened. So in here, we don't necessarily have exactly the numbers that we do in part one, right? Part one with the testimonials and like percentages and 2x, and this is how it happened with ROI, blah, blah, blah. This part here is our explanation of reaching those goals through X, Y, and Z. So that means like the content we created, what that actually meant to them, why those were their goals. And these are kind of our two strategies here to show that we help our clients succeed, right? Not only do we have hard numbers sometimes, like we don't always get them, right? But sometimes we have to go back and explain like how we actually do something, right? We have to go back and explain what was helpful, how we did it, where their goals were, like where they started, why they had these goals, and then where they are now after we help them with their content. So those kinds of things, when you answer them in your profile, you're going to put them in your about section, but you're also going to put them in your experience sections. So your experience sections here should be for each client. So as a freelance writer, if that's all you're doing, if you're a full-time freelance writer, every different client you have should be a different experience section. And you should explain these things, like how you, like what you created, the goals they had, how you did what you did, why you did what you did, and put that in each experience section. And that kind of builds on itself as you add more clients and as you get higher up clients who track those things and tell you what the results are and pay attention to all those little things there. But each little piece builds on itself in the experience section. So we have multiple opportunities. So maybe you throw a testimonial in your about section, or maybe you throw a testimonial in the experience section of that particular client. All of these different ways that we tell about like how we help them reach their goals is really important, because it's showing that we can actually help solve pain points, right? We're coming in there and our clients have different needs and different goals and different problems, but we still are solving them. So this is how we kind of connect our copy of like how our skills, experience, knowledge, and niche expertise match the actual findings of like us reaching their goals. That's how we push those things together. We explain how our skills help our clients, but now we're actually saying, I did this project, this is how it went, and these are the results. These were the goals for the project. This is what we achieved while working together. And we don't normally like always set the goals with our clients. They sometimes come in and have very specific goals or very specific things that they want to do in terms of the project. And they're like, these are our goals. And in order to reach those goals, we want to work with someone who can help us create these types of content that will over time help us reach these goals. And that's what we're explaining in our how have I helped my clients reach their goals. So Linda says, I'm going to pop this up here. Oh, my window popped. Okay, hold on. I'm going to pop this up here. So Linda says you need to be very clear on your mission and purpose or you attract the wrong people. That's totally true. You need to be clear about your clients, what their pain points are, how you're helping them, what types of things you're bringing to the table, and also like be clear on, you know, what you're basically looking for in your copy. So that means that you need to outline your clients, who who they are, what they struggle with, how you can help with that. If you don't want to do blog posts, or if you don't want to do a certain type of writing, like don't put that in there, right? We need to be very specific about what we want to work on, who we want to help, and how we can help them. So that's a good point, Linda. I'm going to do a quick pup date here. I think they're both, oh, they're not. Uh-oh. They've caught on to me. Hey guys, how you doing today? Can we get some tail wags? Oh, well, nope, she left. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, everybody. All right, that was our quick pup date. We don't have any Tritos on hand right now. They're actually far away. Hold on. Let's see if we can get them. All right, good job, guys. Here you go. This is for you. This is for you because you're under the table being a little troll. All right, our next question here. Oh, bless you. Our next question here is, what results, if any, have I gotten for my clients? So this goes into the same thing, right? What results? We can talk about number one, which is our testimonials and our hard stats and like them talking about the ROI, which is return on investment that they got from working with you. So let's say they gave you $5,000 to do a job and they're like, you know what? We paid $5,000 for these types of content and we ended up getting, hundreds of thousands of dollars of leads, or, we generated all of these things. So that's one thing. Or our results are like what their goals were, how we helped with those, what types of things we did to help reach their goals in terms of content, maybe incorporating SEO strategy or like other types of content marketing together, and social posts. So our next one here is, what types of work have I done and for whom? So here, this is our credibility piece saying like, what projects have I worked on and who are my clients? So these two things go together, right? These two things where you're talking about the work you've done and for whom, these are going together because you have to give credibility, right? You have to say, like, here is what I do, right? Here is what you can reach out to me to talk about. I want to talk about content marketing strategy. I want to talk about marketing, messaging, and positioning. I want to talk about blog post campaigns or whatever types of stuff you want to do. And then you say, and I've also worked for these people on these types of projects. So, bless you. Now we have multiple sneezers. Um, so we want to make sure that we give this credibility piece, and it can be as easy as doing a couple bulleted lists in our about section, right? We do a bulleted section on, like, here's the content types I'm excited to write about, and then here's my past clients. And then we have our experience section that's going through each client, right? We have a different experience section for each client that is showing you, like, here's who I have worked for, and you can put the work that you did for them in there. So yeah, so what we want to do is make it very clear. Like, you make it scannable in the about section so that you can say, like, here's what I want to work on, here's who I've worked with, and then in the experience section you have more space to expand upon that. But let's say you don't have any clients, right? Let's go back and think about, like, you don't have any freelance clients yet. What you want to do is move into, like, the, like, this is what I want to do, or like the aspirational piece of your LinkedIn profile. So you want to talk about maybe not who your clients are in terms of names of companies, but you talk about who your clients are in terms of niches or types of companies. Like, I want to, like I would help, like, you can talk about it as like I help startups and Fortune 500 companies do these things, right? Like, maybe you're naming companies or types of companies, or you could say, like, I help small businesses in the prop tech space, or you can name a bunch of things in there if you don't have clients yet, and say, like, this is basically who I want to work for. You can name those people, and then that way you at least have them in your about section, right? You have them in your about section to um, give the people who visit your profile an outline of what you're looking for, so you don't get all of these leads that are like, will you write for my craft business? And you're like, what? No. You want to make sure that it's very clear, that it's, as clear as it's going to be. Hold on one second. Really? I got it, Christine. Oh well. Sorry. I'm back. Charlotte's over here. gosh. All right, Charlotte's over here, but she's being weird. Can you go back to your hobbit hole? Come here, Minnie. Charlotte. You gotta go over here. No, you gotta back up. Back up. Go back over here, Charlotte. Charlotte's having a whole day just like I am. Here you go. All right, here you go. Good job, guys. All right. Okay, sorry about that. Here we are. Yeah, sorry, we had a little intermission there. Okay, so okay, so our next thing that we're going to talk about, yeah, thanks, Linda. We did put the pups on, but Charlotte decided that she wanted to go and do something else. So she's, yeah, being a wild bean. Okay, so our next question is, how can I explain in a concise, personality-driven way what I do for clients, how I help them, my credibility, and steps moving forward? So this should basically be one paragraph. We are going to sum up all the things we just explained here. We're going to go through a concise, personality-driven way. So be as short as you can, but get to the point. Get to the point, be short. Don't be long-winded about this like I am. And give it something that feels like you. So give it something where you are showing the feeling of what it's like to work with you, or use words or phrases that you would use to like explain your clients. Like, what are they like? Are they fun? Are they more reserved? Are you getting things done? Or is it a fun working process? Or is it something where, you do a bunch of cool stuff? How can you explain what it would be like to work with you? And then give them credibility, like clients or things that you can use from like past things you've worked on, and how you help them, right? So how you help them reach their goals, get results, make changes in their content, all that good stuff. Then we want to do steps moving forward, which is basically our unique CTA, our unique call to action. So our steps moving forward can be something like, we don't want to put something in there that's just like, contact me if you need a writer. Like, no, that's how you end up getting crappy leads. You want to put something in there like, if you want to take your content marketing strategy from blah to like amazing, or whatever type of thing you want to say there, send me a message at, then give your email, right? We want to do something there that says like, if you want these results, contact me. Why are you laughing? We've got giggle show today. Today's just kind of like a wild Friday. It's been kind of a wild week for us over here. So we finally had sunshine. This is just like off topic of LinkedIn, but we finally had sunshine. It's been raining and thunderstorming every day. So like, we're finally in a better mood, or at least I am. So we're kind of like feeling a little woo-woo today. So, all right, those are our questions for our LinkedIn profile. So, any questions on anybody from these part 2 questions that we're answering in our LinkedIn profile? So if you have a question about this, or if you found it helpful so far, put your question in the chat, give it a thumbs up if it's been helpful, or subscribe if you want to hear more about how to be a high earning freelance writer. There's a bunch of things here that when we're looking at our questions, we want to make sure that we put it all together, but we don't like go overboard. So even though I'm giving you like a ton of questions, like at least 10 to answer in your LinkedIn profile between your about and experience sections, remember that there are regular humans reading this content. So we want to make it as easy to read and understand as possible, but also direct in who we help, like clients we help, types of clients we help, niches we work in, and then things we work on. So one last go through of all the questions that we have for our LinkedIn profile. So what specific SEO keywords would my ideal clients use to find a writer or to search for a writer? What makes me unique as a writer? How do my specific skills help my clients succeed? How does my specific experience, knowledge, niche expertise, whatever you have under there, like in terms of things that you know and experience that you have, and client stuff that you've done, help my clients succeed? How have I helped my clients reach their goals? What results, if any, have I gotten from my clients? What types of work have I done and for whom? How can I explain in a concise, personality driven way what I do for clients, how I help them, my credibility, and steps moving forward with a unique call to action? So, those are all of our questions that we need to answer in our LinkedIn profiles. Hold on, we have a question. Okay, from Linda. Linda says, what's the best way to transition to help keep your inbound strategy working? I don't know what that means. Like, so transition, like, transition what? Like your copy? So if you're, I know, Linda, you're switching right now. You're switching from resumes to different types of writing. So I would just scrap your copy and just start over. So I would leave whatever you have on LinkedIn right now, go off and write your new copy, and when your new copy's done, put it back in LinkedIn and just change the whole thing. So you don't want to get any more leads. Like, I think, you and I have been talking about this, but you don't want to get any more resume leads, right? You don't want to get any more of the leads that you've been getting. So what that means is, like, we just update our profile. Like, you just start over. And what we want to do here is position our new content for the new type, or our new LinkedIn copy for the new types of content and the new types of clients that we want to get. So that's going to help our inbound marketing strategy, right? So we're moving away from all this other stuff. And honestly, every time I've updated my profile, like, I've gotten better and better leads. Like, it just, like, the more specific you can be and the more direct and concrete that you can outline your potential clients and the work you want to do, the better, the better that you get, for, like, the better leads you get. Oh, now she has some. Okay, hold on. Linda says, she says, I rewrote it, but I still get resume people. Should I change that from resume to content? Well, if you have anything on your LinkedIn profile that says resume, delete it, unless it's the piece that says, like, your experience section where you used to write resumes. Like, that should have an end date on it. So your piece at the bottom in your experience section should say, like, resume writer, blah, 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 and have, like, an end date, whatever end date you want for that. And then any of your other copy outside of that one experience section should not have the word resume in it. So here's a good example for you. I have my old technical writing job on my LinkedIn profile. So I still, every once in a while, get technical writing job leads, or recruiters or people contacting me about technical manuals, just because they saw that I worked in an engineering company like 7 years ago. So that is always going to happen if it's on your profile. You're going to get people in there. It's just that we want to limit that as much as we can. So we want to make that as small as we can. So as you add clients and experiences, I would just drop your resume stuff as far as you can down in your circle of clients there. Like, in your experience section, just drop it as far as you can down. So, like, maybe it becomes something where someone has to click to go down to see it, so you get less of those resume leads. Or just don't respond to those people. Just, like, stop responding to all, like, ignore all of those people. Like, every time I get a technical writing lead, or every time I get something that doesn't fit, like, what I'm doing or whatever, I just don't answer it. Like, I don't respond. Just be like, okay, they will dwindle over time. Like, the think of it as, like, what's a good example I can give you? Think of it as, like, an ongoing tunnel. Like, let's say you're on a train and you're on this ongoing tunnel. So let's say you're going from, like, New York City to Rochester, just because that's easy for me. So let's say you're on the train, you get on the train in New York City, and then you're going to Rochester. So the further you get from New York City, you're still getting stuff from New York City, Westchester, like, places outside New York City. Maybe, like, you see a little map that says, like, this far to Long Island, this far to Brooklyn. But then the closer you get to Rochester, you're seeing, like, Albany and Syracuse and Buffalo and Rochester. Like, we're doing that with our LinkedIn profile. So you're moving from all the resume stuff that will eventually dwindle over time to the new stuff that will be popping up, that is your new types of content stuff that you're doing going forward. So you're still going to get stuff for a while, because you're, like, people will still search and you'll come up in a search for it, but eventually you'll come up less and less in those searches. People will find it less and less, and the, like, the minimal focus on your profile on that will make it so that you don't get those leads. So I hope that was helpful. Okay. So, yeah, so when you have that, okay, so when you have this stuff in your experience section, you need to drop it as far as you can. So if you can add new clients in there, or when you can add new clients in there, add them. Just add them on top, and hopefully eventually your resume stuff will drop below, and someone will have to say, like, see more experiences, and that will be where the resume thing is. So then people won't see it like front and center. But the thing is like um, we just have to make sure that we like minimize it as much as possible. And remember, you can ignore anybody. Like, stop responding to all the resume people. Don't answer them anymore. Like, whoever contacts you about a resume, just don't respond, because that's not where you're going. So yeah, Linda, if you don't want to do any resume stuff, it needs to say all content stuff. Like, you need to get rid of all the resume stuff. All of the resume stuff needs to be removed except for one block in the experience section, because you're moving away from resumes. If you make any part of your about section, any part of your tagline, any part of your URL, any part of anything outside of one experience section, people will contact you for that, and it'll rank you in, like, when people Google things, your LinkedIn profile will still come up because it's in your tagline or your like, you have it too often. So just get rid of it totally. Yeah, it's okay, Linda. It's gonna get like people. Okay, so let's kind of review this a little bit. Right now there's different things that are happening in the job market, right? All of the places that were really closed down in 2020, like, they're finally kind of opening back up and hiring again. So there's like all these articles that have been popping up on LinkedIn about how like everybody's hiring again and they can't find enough people, or there's articles popping up on LinkedIn talking about how they want people to come back to work, like they're trying to hire for in-house positions, and everyone's like, no, I want to work remote now. So there's a lot of stuff that's happening, right? So they're going to get an influx of people just because of that's what's going on right now, right? You're going to get an influx of people that are trying to get resume help, that are trying to get recruiting help, or all that stuff, but that's only temporary. Like, that's a past life. Just imagine that you've shut the door on it, and like all of those people are coming to this closed door. That's all it is. You can still connect with them, but you don't have to respond to their messages. You don't have to do any of those, like, you don't have to answer any messages. Like, if they connect with you and say, like, help me with my resume, you just don't have to respond. They can unfriend you on LinkedIn anytime they want. So yeah, don't worry about that stuff. What you're switching to now is like content writing, or specific types of content that you want to put in there, right? So you don't want to like put anything in there. Like, here's a good example. If I put healthcare in my profile, or if I put Bitcoin, or if I put let's see, like small, like credit unions or something, like something I know where there's a lot of clients, I'm sure I'd get inbound leads for it. I'm sure I'd get people coming to my profile, but that's not what I want. Like, it's not what I want at all. So if I start putting things in my profile, even though I know that they get a lot of traffic, or I know they have a lot of clients, like, it's not going to work for me. It's just not. So you have to remove all of the things that don't work for you in your profile. That's how you end up getting those leads to start dwindling away. You start removing them from your circle. Plus, um, think of the internet as this thing that's kind of like an ongoing homeostasis, like a human body, right? So when you have the internet, you're indexed on the internet for your LinkedIn profile for being like the resume person. So you come up a lot because that's been your long-standing thing on LinkedIn, or the long-standing thing on your website, right? But the more you move away from that, the less it gets indexed, right? So that's why this is like a whole SEO thing, right? That's why people like older blog posts help you do better in the rankings, because like the more older posts that you have and the more content you've created for a longer period of time, it's indexed, and it's got like a longer traffic history, all this stuff. So your profile is the same way. Your profile is getting a longer traffic lane right now because of all the resume stuff. Like it's getting the traffic for resume because that's what it's always known. When you switch over to content writing, you're basically telling it, hey, you're basically telling the internet like, cool, I'm now doing this. And it's like, basically like, okay, let me change tracks. Here I go. Okay, now I've got on the content writing one, but you're still getting traffic for resumes. But this process of moving from like, okay, I see that you were a resume, but now you're doing content writing. This takes like months, long periods of time for the internet to switch over. Okay, this is why SEO can be complicated and a pain in the ass, because it takes a long time for it to make that switch, especially when you've been in this hole for a while. And it's like, now I have to put you in a new hole or a bucket, right? You've been in this bucket, now I got to put you in this bucket. This process where it's like working its little magic, it's working its little engines, moving along, right? That takes a long time. So just imagine it as like it's maintaining the homeostasis. So like 99 times out of 100, you've been resume. Then you're 98 out of 100. Then you're 97, 96, 95. And as your homeostasis changes, where it's like, hey, I'm getting more information about her being a content writer. I'm getting more information about her doing this type of writing now. Like that changes over time. So then you flip and you get more traffic there. So I hope that was helpful. Yeah, okay, here's another good thing that we can talk about for LinkedIn real quick. Can you go back to your hobbit hole? What are you doing? It's a wild day. Okay, she says she has 28 connections waiting, but they're all wrong for my business direction. Okay, here's your two options. Don't connect with any of them, or connect with all of them and just grow your network and move along. Don't answer their resume stuff. Like, it depends, right? I'm pretty selective about who I'm letting into my network because I don't want anybody to just come in there and start spamming people, and I don't want people coming into my network and just like doing weird stuff. And I normally don't have connections. Like if they're way outside of my industry or niche, I usually don't connect with them. But if they're all wrong for your business direction, you can just ignore them all. Like just ignore them all. Or you can connect with them and then just like not answer their messages about, resume writing. All right. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, just like a weird thing here, like if anybody ever hits on you on LinkedIn, I see this in the chat. So if anybody ever hits on you on LinkedIn, no matter who you are, like you can unfriend them, you can block them, like get rid of them. That's weird. LinkedIn is not for that. This is not Tinder, okay? Or Instagram or whatever. So anytime people use LinkedIn as like a new way where they're like, I've had LinkedIn for 20 years or however long it's been, like 10 years, and now I'm retired and now I'm going to do like, no, delete them. That's weird. Not okay. Okay, so yeah, you don't want to connect with everybody. So you don't want to just expand your network just to expand your network. You want to expand your network the right ways. So we want to connect with the right people, especially if you're getting requests from people who are talking about like resume stuff. Like just, I think it's easier just to make a clean break. Just like stop accepting those people. If it were me, I would just like stop accepting those people. Like people who are coming to me and saying I want resume stuff, I would just stop accepting their requests totally. Or if someone came to me and good night. If someone came to me and they were like, "Hey, I want you to write about healthcare," I'd be like, "No, no, it's not a fit. Goodbye." So when you're on there, don't just if it were me, I would just stop inviting that into my space, right? I would stop inviting all of those people who are asking about resumes or asking about things I don't want to do, or using my like history from like 20 years ago or something to do certain things. I would just not even go there. Okay, cool. Yeah, be really selective about the messages you answer and the requests that you get. Yeah, so what about connecting with overseas writers? Is that always wise? So this is another thing. Like anybody who connects with you, no matter where they are in the world, they need to be a fit. So that means they're either a fit for your niches or your company type, or like for me, sometimes it's like other writers in other areas, and I want to make sure that they actually are building a network, right? they're someone who has a bunch of connections, who has been a writer for a while, who isn't just like working on like Fiverr or whatever and has been there for like 1 month. Like I'm making sure to that I'm not part of like someone's blast sequence. Like they actually have a business and they've been working in it. So, and that applies to anybody in the world. Anybody in the world who I connect with, I'm making sure that they're like someone who's doing something, right? They're moving forward in their business. They're actually building a freelance writing business, or they're in my niches, or it makes sense to connect for certain reasons. But don't connect with anybody in the world who doesn't have a picture, whose profile isn't filled out, like all of those red flags that we see in all the LinkedIn stuff. So like we'll have a video about that eventually, or like a live stream about that. But there's a bunch of red flags with LinkedIn where it's like if they don't have a photo, their profile isn't filled out, they have like 4 connections, they have like a weird spammy looking email address, they don't have any experience. Like there's a whole bunch of things in there that are just like big red flags of like someone doesn't know what they're doing, or their profile isn't filled out. Like they have some things, but the rest of it isn't totally filled out. There's a lot of things in there that pop up that just make it obvious LinkedIn, they're just like spamming you for some reason, or that they're not really serious about growing on LinkedIn. Like then don't connect with them. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. Any other questions that we can go over? If this has been helpful so far, give it a thumbs up. If you want to learn more about being a high-earning freelance writer, hit subscribe below. I try to get Charlotte back in the pup date area, but right now I just have one. I just have one in the pup date area. Just Barry, just Bo, just hanging out. Charlotte, you have to go back to your hobbit hole. Charlotte, you have to go back to your hobbit hole. Go back to your hobbit hole. No, you can't lay down. All right. This is just how it's going today, I guess. Charlotte, can you go over there? Charlotte, go back. No. Yes. Go this way. All right. Go back to your hobbit hole. Come here. Come on. There we go. We did it. Teamwork. We did it. Good job, everybody. What a wild Friday. Okay, cool. So, all right. I hope this was helpful. I hope that we got a lot of questions here. If you have questions that pop up, as you listen to this video, like you're listening to the replay, or something that comes up that you're just like, I have a question about LinkedIn. Oh, you tired, Charlotte? I like your frosted jowls. I like that you're turning gray. It's so cute. You're not even that old. And then you're like, okay, I want more snackos. Okay, one more snacko, and then we're done. And we're done with the snackos. Here you go. Good job. All right. Cool. So that's what we have for LinkedIn today. I hope that was helpful. I hope you guys have a great whatever day it is. Friday? I don't know. It's in that kind of week where I'm just like, every day is the same day this week. Have a great weekend. All right. I'll see you next week.